Hey guys, welcome back to the Mega Man Marathon. So, last time, as I said, Mega Man 1 on the Game Boy wasn't exactly a success as they wanted it to be. I kind of cited poor game design and a lack of difference compared to the NES game. So, out with that, in with Mega Man 2. Does this game improve on anything? Let's find out.
Unfortunately, the first thing I can say without a doubt is that the music is almost unlistenable. I can't stand how high-pitched most of this is. I want to like the title screen song, I want to like the stage select, I want to like all of these new alternative arrangements for the Robot Master themes that have new parts in them that weren't in the NES versions. Sadly though, the use of the sound just wasn't good on the part of the composer for this game, Kenji Yamazaki. He did his best with what he knew at the time, but wow did these come out badly. Fortunately, there was a project completed by a user named RushJet1 who recreated the entire Mega Man 2 Game Boy original soundtrack and made it into something really special and can rival the likes of Mega Man 2 and 3. It's that good. He takes advantage of Konami's VRC6 chip, giving the NES 6 different channels for music, making the soundtrack be something that could have seen the light of day in a Japanese-only version of Rockman 2, seeing as this chip was never seen stateside. I adore the title theme and Needleman stages, since they are taking very similar patterns and slightly changing them in order to make them different songs, sort of how Toby Fox would use Undertale's signature bars of music in many of the songs in that game, like the similarities in Core and Another Medium if I were to point out one. The music was honestly one of the only sore spots for me in this one actually, and the stages are more aligned with the NES originals and don't put in pointlessly bad design and artificially make the game longer. Instead, they made 4 new stages for the Robot Master you face at Wily's Castle, all accessed by teleporters. Why couldn't they do this in the last game? It really keeps grinding my gears that they couldn't have just put in the effort to do so instead of just having 4 random boss fights all in a row. Also, I just wish it brought you back to another stage select, since I'd like you to know what boss room you're gonna go into, as well as me. You know, they did that with Mega Man 3 and 4, why the heck not do it here? It's irritating when you go into Needleman's room first thing, but you have to then immediately fight Gemini Man afterwards. Seeing as he has the weakness to Needleman, it just all gets convoluted. However, with the power of a guide, I was able to negate this problem, but Mega Man games really shouldn't need guides for completion unless your name is Legends, or Battle Network, or Star Force. Boy, I really don't like those series that much, I guess. I got a lot of enjoyment throughout my playthrough of Mega Man 2 on Game Boy, though, seeing as I had the Metal Blade for Major Abuse again. I actually took advantage of it more than I would in the NES version, since it's pretty cool to use it against some of the Mega Man 3 Robot Masters rather than just being used against you when you have the Mega Man 3 powers. Yeah, I'm still salty about the docked robot sections in the NES versions of Mega Man 3, so at least this alleviates some of that problem. I also enjoy being able to mix it up with the different weapons from the 2 games. I didn't really comment it on the last game, since those weapons were basically useless other than the Elect Beam and the Firestorm, both of which I already said that I loved in Mega Man 1, but none of the Mega Man 2 weapons present were good in that game. Mega Man 2 on Game Boy, however, fixes that by getting all of my favorite weapons from both 2 and 3, other than Gemini Laser. The Thing is still the worst weapon in both 3 and in this game. Also, I have to comment on this game's unique boss, Quint. Quint is a future version of Mega Man that was corrupted by Dr. Wily that had traveled to the future somehow to defeat Mega Man. And no, not a Mega Man killer. This is actually confirmed to Mega Man at base with Punk's CD, seeing as he was named the second Mega Man killer model rather than Quint. Now, there are some extreme confusion from even hardcore fans that they have over Quint. I have to pull some supplemental material from the Mega Man comics here, which is normally something I don't like having to do, but it does help with the understanding of it. Luckily, we get information in the manual first, though, showing that Wily traveled 37.426 years into the future. This is pretty to see that in America, since we know decimals to separate to tenths and hundredths of a whole. However, in some other countries, a decimal and comma are used for the exact opposite roles, meaning that decimals are used to separate billions, millions, thousands, and others, while the commas separate tenths and hundredths. Yeah, we're getting a math lesson throughout different cultures in a Mega Man review. This is crazy even in my standards. Anyway, this has confused people to think that Wily actually traveled 37,426 years into the future, far past even the Legend series where humans don't even exist anymore, likely replaced by high advanced carbons. I'll get into that when I get to the Legend series, but I'll leave it here. It's really convoluted. It makes me ugh. Now moving into the comics, they explain that Dr. Light converted Mega Man into Quint, who Dr. Wily then commandeers in the future to fight Mega Man in the past. Therefore, we've already got our bridge to the X series, because Mega Man was already dead years before X was created. As much as people are wanting a Final Classic game that gives us an excuse for Zero to kill Mega Man Classic, oh hi Mega Man Unlimited, we're not getting one. If anything, we'll get a Mega Man game where we get to play as Quint on the Sakugarne, which is a frickin' pogo stick. I mean, it is a nice weapon to use after all, but I don't get to use it anywhere except for the final boss since you get it so late into the game. It's fine though, I'll stick with Metal Blade. The final boss is also pretty easy, though it is pretty neat in how we have a sort of dinosaur-like final boss, a whole 16 years before Mega Man 9 did it, albeit better with the egg bouncing mechanic. After Wily has been whomped, Mega Man flies out with Rush and the credits roll, leaving us with only 3 more games in the Game Boy lineup left to go.
Well, Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy was certainly an improvement compared to Mega Man 1. I definitely gotta say that the music was not as good, but everything else was done perfectly. If there's anything, I would suggest buying this on the 3DS Virtual Console. You can find it for $4.99, just like the other games in the handheld library. If you want an actual cartridge, though, good luck finding these two. Mega Man 4 and 5 will probably net you about a $160 loss if you end up buying the physical cartridges. So, I would just stick with the 3DS Virtual Console. But next time, we're going to be looking at Mega Man 3 on the Game Boy. Does this improve the sound, and does it actually keep with the great level design and great things that Mega Man 2 did in comparison to Mega Man 1? We'll find out next week. See you guys then.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Sorry for not uploading last week. My editor hasn't talked to me. I have no idea why. And other than that, I just had to find a new one so that I could keep giving out videos to you guys. So, thank you so much. I'm almost at 800 subscribers, which blows my mind. I'm almost to 1,000, so you guys are definitely supporting and hitting up the channel. I'm super appreciative. I'm also sorry about the lack of Pokemon videos. I have a few lined up that I'm getting ready to start editing. I've just been busy in the past few weeks getting all of my college stuff ready to go so that I can start up in the new semester. Lastly, if you guys want to, click on the links in the description. They'll take you to my Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, all that fun stuff. And if you really enjoyed the video, definitely support that Patreon. I like to make money. But I'm going to keep doing these otherwise. So, you guys have a fantastic day, and take care.